All right, 10 milliliters of, all right. So 1 drop of 0630. And it looks like pee-pee. And then 1 drop at a time of this until it turns a brick red salmon. I don't know, brick red and salmon are 2 different colors, so I don't know what it wants me to do. 1 just gets kind of clumpy in there. It's hard to swirl this. I really should have like a stir stick or something, because a lot of these chemicals just sink to the bottom. 3. Wait, doesn't this mean that my salt level is high? 3, because 3 times 200 is 600, and it should be 3,500. 4, your salt level should be 3,000 to 3,500 ppm. So we're already at 2,400. And it's still just a foamy yellow color. That's 5, 6, 7, oh, that's 10, it's 15, 16, all right, 16 did it. So 16 times 200 is 3,200. So that's good, right? Because yeah, why was I saying that 4 times 200 is only 800? Why was I saying that's 2,400? So 16 times, yeah, 200 is 3,200. So we should be good. Oh, to increase salt level by 3,000 ppm, I need to add 250 pounds of salt. But I don't. I'm at 3,200. So we should be good. And it's been 15 minutes. So let's go look at this thing. So I just keep track of my chemical levels and just take notes. So I wrote down today, 4th of July, 3,200 ppm. So let's move on to this kit. We have 7 minutes before we can check on the chlorinator again. Just a big mamma jamma. All right, free and combined chlorine. Fill large tube to desired mark with sample water. Note, for 1 drop, use 25 milliliters. For 1 drop of, I don't understand. All right, so basically this is just like the scaling. So with this, with 1 drop equals 200 ppm, well this, if I fill this up with 25 milliliters of water, 1 drop will equal 0.2 ppm. If I fill it up with 10 milliliters of water, 1 drop will equal 0.05 ppm. We'll go with the 0.05 one just because it'll use less of these chemicals. We don't need that much accuracy right now, I don't think. So add 2 dippers of R double. I didn't do this test before, so I don't know how to do this. So add 2 dippers of this, swirl until dissolved. If free chlorine is present, sample will turn pink. So we're gonna fill this up with 10 milliliters of water. I don't know how they expect you to use this. It did turn pink, but I don't know if it really turned that pink. I don't know how pink it should turn. Note, if pink color disappears or no pink color develops, add until it turns pink. I don't know how pink it wants me to be. Let's add 1 more and see what happens. No, let's not do that. Let's just follow the instructions regularly. All right, so now add 1 drop of this until it turns from pink to colorless. So this is 07 or 0871. 1 drop. All right, colorless. Multiply drops in step 3 by 1 drop equivalents. Record as ppm free chlorine. So we need 1 drop. And we did 1 drop equals 0.05 ppm, and record that as your free chlorine level. So I have 0.5 ppm of chlorine. Well, free chlorine. I think there's free chlorine and combined chlorine. Add 5 drops of 0003. If combined chlorine is present, sample will turn pink. So 5 drops of this. Turned a little bit pink. Add 1 drop, counting each drop until it changes from pink to colorless. 1. I think 1 was it. Let's do 2 just in case, but 1 definitely changed it to colorless. Yeah. All right, multiply by drop equivalence, record as. So I have half ppm of combined chlorine. All right, let's go check on the chlorinator. All right, so that looked clean enough to me, or it looked very clean. It looked awesome. So I hooked it back up and I turned on my pool filter because number 1, I want to check for leaks to see that if I did the thing correctly, if I tightened it well enough. 2, now I'm going to be draining the pool a little bit, just for like an hour. All right, so my chlorine level is 0.05 ppm. And from what I'm seeing, it should be 1 to 3 ppm for chlorine levels. So I should add chlorine to my pool, which I think just means running the filter, the pump longer so that the saltwater generator, the chlorinator will generate more chlorine. So I'm not going to be adding chlorine to my pool now because I don't want to put too much chlorine in it, which means I'm not going to be adding shock now. But the next thing, well, we'll finish with these tests, but the only thing I'm going to be adding, I'm going to take all these readings, but the only thing I'm going to be adding now is the muriatic acid because I know from the last test that I took that my alkalinity or whatever that fixes is wacky. But we'll do all these tests again. So this is the pH level in my pool. Basically what you're doing, you're filling it with 44 milliliters of water and adding 5 drops of the R0004. And then matching it to this. So my pH level is high because you see it's much darker than that. But that's where I'm talking about because we'll see it later, but my alkalinity is low. So when I add the muriatic acid to match my alkalinity, that's going to change the pH in my pool. So that's why I'm not adding any pH up or pH down now. That's why I'm doing the muriatic acid first. And then the next stuff with this kit is the same thing, like you add drops and multiply or whatever to see how much base your pool needs or how much acid your pool needs. I'm not going to be doing this since I'm going to be adding muriatic acid and it's going to change all that. So we'll do that at a later date when we'll do this alkalinity test next. So for alkalinity, you're adding 25 milliliters of water, 2 drops of R777, and then 5 drops of this, and then swirl it until it turns green, right? Swirl to mix, sample will turn green. See, this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't really mix that well. Splashed a little. And then now we're adding 1 drop at a time of 999 until this turns from green to red. It's 35, but it's close. It's getting there. 36, 37, and that's just went red, like a light pinkish color. So you multiply 37 by 10, so 3700 ppm on the alkalinity. Just record that real fast. And I'm just reading now at the bottom, it says because I didn't need to use, I could have used less water, so I didn't need to use 37 drops. I could have just used 10 milliliters of water instead of 25 milliliters of water. Then I would only needed like whatever half of 37 is, 19 drops of water, 19 drops of the chemical instead of 37 of it. So it says saltwater pools are most stable. So it's a pH between 7.4 and 7.6. and I was well above the 8 on the pH mark. And alkalinity between 70 to 80 ppm, and mine's 3,700. Or no, that's not right. Multiply it by 10, so I'm 370, which is still high, quite higher than it needs to be, but it's not the 3,700 I was originally saying. So the next test is calcium hardness, and that's 25 milliliters of water in here and 20 drops of this stuff into there. And then I didn't read the rest of the directions yet, but I don't know. I didn't research about calcium hardness yet. I don't have anything to adjust calcium hardness level in my pool. So we're just going to take a note of it right now. So now 5 drops of the 00111L. If this turns red, then calcium hardness is present. See what I mean? It just stays at the bottom. Probably a little bit better to just cap this and shake it, but we're okay. Now, 1 drop at a time of 0012 until this turns from red to blue. I'm not going to do that on camera. So that was 13 drops, and then we multiply that by 10 as the ppm calcium hardness. Last time when I took this test last week, I was adding like 2 drops, 4 drops at a time. So my last reading said that I was between 10 to 14 drops I needed. It was 13. All right, so we're at 130 ppm for calcium hardness. And what I'm seeing is it should be between 200 to 400 ppm, or else it like corrodes the pool or something, erodes the pool. Corrodes, erodes, who knows? I'll look up to see what you add. So there's stuff called calcium hardness increaser, which it says is calcium chloride. I'm not going to research all that for this video. That's going to be a different day. Because I don't know, because there's stuff like to raise and lower your pH, you can use baking soda or another thing, maybe bleach and muriatic acid instead of like these things that are like pH down, pH up, pH down, or you can use household stuff. Oh, borax is one of them. Borax, muriatic acid, baking soda, and I think bleach as well that you can use. That's just what these pH up and down and whatever increase decreases are. So I don't know what the equivalent calcium hardness increaser would be as a household common name. So this next test is for CYA. So we fill this up to 7 milliliters with water, and then up to 14 milliliters with this 0013. And then we shake this for 30 seconds. And then we're gonna add this into this tube here until we can no longer see that black dot at the bottom. And then we'll read the level of that on the side. So that's what we got. And we're about, I don't know if you guys can see it as well, but we're at 90. If we get to eye level, we're at 90. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. I'm not even gonna bother looking up how to, let's see what CYA is. All right, so Google says if you don't have an extremely high amount of sunlight, CIA is typically between 30 to 50, with high levels of sunlight, 70 to 80. So I live in Florida, high levels of sunlight, so we're not too far off with a 90 CYA. I'm not gonna look up, I'm kind of sick of this already, this video. I'm not gonna look up how to change the CYA in my pool. If you're interested in watching me and my pool levels, I'll record more. Check out, there'll be future videos about my pool antics and trying to figure out how to use my pool. I'm from Pennsylvania. I never owned a pool before, never owned a house before. Oh, also, you can check out why my floor looks like this and is just concrete. I'm getting tiles installed. I'm installing tiles myself. I did all this demolition work myself. You can check those videos out. I'm going to be painting and remodeling my house myself. But to see more pool videos, there'll be more pool videos. Check out my channel for them. More pool videos in the future. And what's going on? I'm just lowering the level in my pool, dumping out, draining my pool, adding muriatic acid until that level gets okay. Then I'm going to be adjusting the pH in the pool. Then we'll deal with all the CYA and calcium hardness and chlorine levels and all that stuff. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Take care. Thank you and goodbye. By the way, so I want to lower my pool by 200 ppm alkalinity because it's at 370 and it says between 100 to 150 is what it's supposed to be at. So I'm like, all right, I'll lower it by 200 to take it to 170, which is still higher, but that'll be a good baseline. So 25.6 ounces of muriatic acid per 10,000 gallons of water. My pool is definitely at least 10,000 gallons, if not more. So to lower it by 200 ppm, I would have to add almost 2 gallons because 1 gallon is 128 fluid ounces. So that'd be 316, and I want to add 256. Yeah, crazy. Actually, scratch everything I just said because I was thinking 2 gallons of that would be 350 fluid ounces, but it's 128 times 2 is 256. Why was I saying it's 316? But also that is, so 25.6 ounces of muriatic acid to lower 10 ppm for 10,000 gallons is at 31.45% concentrate muriatic acid. I don't know what level my muriatic acid is, and it doesn't say it on the bottle, so we're going to have to look that up. All right, so I'm seeing 4 gallons of muriatic acid to lower it because 25.6 ounces would lower my pool. If my pool is 10,000 gallons, it might be more than 10,000 gallons. I don't know. I'm sliding. 25.6 for 10, and I want to lower it by 200 ppm, so that's 25.6 times 20, because 25.6 times 10 would lower it 100 ppm, so we need times 20, so 512 ounces is 4 gallons of this stuff. I'm not doing that. That seems like an awful lot. This pool calculator, poolcalculator.com, says that I add 114 fluid ounces of muriatic acid to lower the pH to the proper level. It doesn't give me a thing on how to lower the alkalinity. I think maybe the pool calculator website wants me to, or no, I don't know. I'm just adding a gallon of muriatic acid, and we'll check at a later date to see if I added too much or too little.